Good evening, everyone. Today is March 22nd, Wednesday, and we're here for regularly scheduled town board and CDA meetings. As always, we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. And Councilman Bayrod, maybe you can take the lead for us.
I would love that. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Councilman. And do we have somebody with us from our faith community?
I see on the agenda that we do, but I just have to find
I
the
see
agenda.
with my own eyes that we do.
Yes, we do. Let me announce her. Reverend Susan E. Moody of the Wading River Congregational Church in Wading River. Thank you for being here.
Let's pray. God of all creation, we come before you today to give you honor and praise because you are worthy of praise. You're the source of all that's good, the source of all our blessings, and we thank you for every gift that we have been given. We thank you, God, for the signs of spring that are finally beginning to appear, for the warmer temperatures and the greening of the grass, for the sprouting flowers and the songs of the birds. May we join them as they praise your name. We thank you for the coming Easter season when we're reminded of the gift you sent so that we might be made right with you. I thank you for the opportunity the town board has tonight to come together and to do the work of the community of Riverhead. I thank you for this community you've entrusted to its care. And I ask you, God, to put your hand of blessing on this meeting, to guide and direct each person in every moment so the meeting is full of wisdom and productivity and respect for one another. We thank you for helping each one of us to accomplish our work and our goals on this day. In Jesus' name I pray these things. Amen.
Amen. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Reverend. We appreciate your time this evening. So we have just one announcement today, and this is hot off the press. The weather forecast does not look good for Saturday, this coming Saturday, so the folks who run the East End Emerald Society and put on the annual Jamesport St. Patrick's Day Parade have made the decision to postpone and reschedule the parade. So it's not going to be this Saturday, it's going to be the following Saturday, April 1st, same time, same place, at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So we want everybody to go ahead and tell their friends and their family and make sure everybody comes out and supports the East End Emerald Society. It's a huge effort that they put forth. They have, I'm told, 5 pipe bands lined up this year. It should be a great event. So we just need the weather gods to cooperate and give us a good day on Saturday the 1st. So we hope to see everybody there. And we'll move on to go ahead and ask for a first and a second to close the town board meeting and open the CDA meeting. For that, we'll invite Dawn Thomas to come forward. Can I have a first and a second?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Diane, can you call the vote?
Certainly. Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrod.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
The town board meeting is closed and the CDA meeting is now open.
I have it here, Dawn. If you can just pass that to Dawn.
Certainly.
Good evening, Dawn.
Good evening, everyone. We have just on the agenda tonight the
Dawn,
approval.
you just gotta pull the mic down.
Oh, sorry. We have on the agenda tonight only a resolution to approve the minutes of the regular meeting on February 22nd at 6 p.m. And so we need a motion and a second on those, or first we need comments from the public on that resolution, if there are any. Okay. All right. So a motion and a second on the.
Motion to approve minutes.
Thank you.
Second.
You want to call the vote, Dawn?
I'll call it. Yeah. Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrott.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
The resolution is adopted, and then we would have open comment on CDA matters only.
Anybody to comment on any CDA matter, either in the room or via Zoom? Chip, do we have anybody? No one via Zoom? Anybody in the room to comment on anything CDA related? No takers today.
Okay. Then we would need a motion and a second to close the CDA meeting and open the town board meeting.
Motion. Second.
Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrott.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Okay, CDA meeting is closed and town board back open. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you, Dawn.
Thanks, Dawn.
So Diane, we'll turn it over to you, and maybe you can read the reports for correspondence and the financial reports for us.
Certainly. I don't have a microphone.
Oh, you don't?
That could be a
Okay.
problem.
Hold on.
Justin, I think we need the microphone for the town clerk, please.
Sitting here for 15 minutes.
I did just noticed.
Oh, maybe.
Can I, does that work? Can you hear me?
Well, we'll just.
Oh, there you go. You have your mic coming up.
Right, Frank, what do you, what do you got?
Thank you, Sharon.
Very high-tech we are.
Yes.
Matt, can you get my water thing off my desk? Thanks.
Is that good? Puts it in there, but that's what we do. Yeah, I don't know, does that work? If it doesn't work, it just.
Wow,
Look at that.
pretty high tech.
All right, there we are. I think we're all set.
Okay.
Can you hear me? Yes? Okay. All right. Okay, so under correspondence, I had 2 letters regarding the Edwards Avenue parking. That was a public hearing from March 7th, and those letters were from Gail and William Kappenberg and Robert Skinner. I also had a letter from Florence Caltabiano, and she sent this letter with concerns for the handicapped population and the availability of shopping carts in some retail stores. EPCAL Watch sent a letter proposing to the Riverhead Industrial Development Agency a public forum on the redevelopment of EPCAL. Joelle Pecos sent a letter questioning the possibility of an increase to the 2% Peconic Bay transfer tax. Barbara Cataletto sent a letter with suggestions for a resolution for an audit. Crystal and David Weissmiller sent a letter of opposition to proposed warehouses and industrial development. Martine Abbott-Paul, excuse me for probably mispronouncing that, sent a letter regarding parking at the Roanoke Plaza in the CVS area. Robert Gass sent a letter with comments and concerns regarding the Cider House. Under reports, we received the financial statements from 2021. The police department sent their February 2023 monthly report. Tax receiver total tax collection to date as of March 15th was $95,128,536.59. And that is it.
Okay, thank you, Diane. All right, so we'll move forward to our next, the next portion of the meeting, which will be public hearings. We have our first public hearing, which was scheduled for 6:10, and it's now 6:14, related to alcoholic beverages. And for that, we'll turn it over to our town attorney, who can introduce the topic for us more specifically. Eric?
Thank you. So currently, the town code prohibits the consumption of open alcohol containers around town. This amendment addresses the penalties provision. Currently, it is a $250 max fine and/or 15 days in jail. This amendment creates a tiered structure wherein a first offense would remain $250 max fine and/or 15 days in jail. Second offense would be a $350 max fine and/or 15 days in jail. And for third and subsequent offenses, the max fine would be $500 and/or up to 90 days in jail, and it would be a Class B misdemeanor. We put forth this amendment because of what we're seeing in justice court with the Chapter 205 violations. It has come to a point where the current system is not being an effective deterrent for the conduct. So we're looking to enhance the penalties in the hope of addressing what is a lot of repeat offenders who end up simply owing the court a lot of money that will never be collected. And hopefully by instituting this, it allows us to deter that conduct more effectively. And with that, I would open up for public comment.
Okay, anybody in the room wish to comment on this public hearing related to Chapter 205, specifically alcoholic beverages? Anybody online, Chip? No, nobody online? Seems nobody in the room is looking to comment. Anybody on the town board want to comment at all?
I think it's a great idea. I think people need to understand that this is something we've been trying to clean up downtown for a very long time, and the old way was not working. And yes, they may get charged more money, and maybe they won't pay the money, but if they don't pay the money, I think 90 days in the county jail for a can of beer is, after your third offense, should be more than enough to tell you, okay, let me take it somewhere else and go do it. So I'm in favor of this.
Hello,
Hi, good evening.
Mark Lamena, Riverhead. I am a restaurant owner in downtown Riverhead, and I agree with this. I serve alcohol in my restaurants, and I want it to be known that someone that offends 3 times should spend up to 90 days in jail. So thank you for this.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Mark.
Okay, thank you, Mark. Anybody else, any other members of the public want to comment? Okay, so we'll close this public hearing, but we'll leave it open for written comment for another 10 days, which will bring us to, I believe it's April 1st. We'll keep it open till close of business on April 3rd at the town clerk's office. So that's on Monday, April 3rd, because today's Wednesday. Normally we would go, Eric, Tuesday to the following Friday. You still want to do Friday?
Yeah.
Okay.
More than
Okay, so then we'll correct that. For the record, we're going to keep it open for written comment at the town clerk's office until close of business on March 31st. And with that, we'll go to our next public hearing, which was scheduled for 6:15. And the time is now 6:18. We're almost on schedule. And this is a public hearing for proposed amendment to Chapter 297 entitled Zero Tolerance. And for that, we're going to ask our CDA Director, Don Thomas, to come forward and just expand a bit on this for us. Hi, Don.
Hi, good evening, everyone. So this is the companion legislation to the overlay district that we had a public hearing on just recently, all in the direction of moving downtown into a more family-friendly environment and curbing, as Eric suggested in our earlier public hearing, some of the behavior that's inconsistent with what the community wants and deserves. And so this local law changes some of the behavior requirements and changes the fines to make the fines more difficult, or heavier fines for activities. So, for instance, aggressive solicitation, which would be aggressive panhandling. Loitering is in our next public hearing. Obstruction of traffic, sleeping in public, sleeping on the sidewalks, loitering for the purpose of engaging in drug-relating and/or prostitution-related activity, lewd acts, and interference with trash cans and rummaging through trash cans and similar activities. This zero tolerance legislation would be applicable throughout the overlay district, which the town board has proposed in its most recent legislation, and it's really consistent with our actions in trying to move downtown forward in terms of revitalization and prevent or at least inhibit activity that's inconsistent with those goals and objectives. So I think that's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Don. Any members of the public wish to comment on this public hearing, whether in person or online? Chip, nobody's online? Anybody in the room wish to comment? Hello again.
Hello, Mark Lamena, Riverhead. I just want to let the board know that this policy moving forward is imperative for the revitalization of downtown Riverhead, and I hope everybody gets on board, because I know there's a strong presence of business owners that are ready to push forward and make the revitalization happen. So if everybody's on board and we put politics aside, I think that it can happen in the next 24 months. Thank you.
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you. Good evening.
Garrett Moore, resident of East Main Street. Those list of issues that you read off, I've had to experience nearly all of them on my front yard over the past couple of years. So I definitely support this going forward. I'm trying to raise my family here. I'm a teacher in town, so I'm definitely looking forward to better futures and hoping to make improvements downtown. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Okay,
Gary.
thank you.
Hi, Christy Verity, Executive Director of the Riverhead Business Improvement District. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Bob would have already told you.
On behalf of the Riverhead Bid, we have submitted a letter of support for the overlay changes for both the use and conduct. We've been working with Don Thomas and have reviewed the code, and we have also reviewed it with the business owners, parcel owners, and residents of the town of Riverhead, whom we have met with over the past few weeks. So I believe the letter is posted on the Town of Riverhead website.
Okay,
Thank you, Christie.
thanks, Christy. Okay, anybody else?
Yeah, he has
Oh,
one.
you do, okay. Somebody's joining us via Zoom. Hi, Ike, can you hear us?
Ike, are you on mute?
Hi, guys.
Hi, Ike.
I just wanted to say thank you for all your efforts in helping put this legislation forward. And I do think that it'd be very good, and the business community, everyone that I've talked to, really does want to see some change in downtown and agrees that we need help and we got to just toughen up a little bit and try to help our downtown businesses. We need a lot of help with, we need a lot of help in our businesses, and we need a lot of support from our community to keep all of our businesses downtown. So thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Ike.
Thanks, Ike.
Chip, do you have anybody else online? That's it, okay. And it doesn't look like we have anybody else in the room. Any board members want to comment?
Just ditto from the last one. I mean, this is all about quality of life and making our downtown a family-friendly atmosphere. I think many of these things have been addressed that we need to take care of, and we're investing a lot of money down there, and for downtown to be successful, these things have to be done. We have to have the teeth to be able to do it and clean up the downtown once and for all, and I fully support this.
I know we have one more public hearing on a similar issue, but I just want to thank everybody that came down from the business community from downtown and that came in on Zoom for taking the time out of your busy schedules to tell everybody exactly how you feel and to show support. Thank you so much.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and close this public hearing, but as we did before, we'll leave it open for written comment with the town clerk's office until the end of the day on March 31st. And that brings us to our final public hearing, which was scheduled for 6:20, and it is 6:24. And this is related to Chapter 247, loitering, and the intent of this is a proposed amendment to supplement the conduct violations in the chapter. But Eric, we're going to let you expand upon that further.
All right, thank you. So currently, Chapter 247 prohibits public urination. This amendment adds public defecation, and it enhances the penalties for both public urination and public defecation from a flat $250 fine to a fine of $250 to $1,000, plus the incarceration not to exceed 15 days. And this just sort of builds upon the prior amendments that we've had up tonight.
Okay. Well done. Does anybody wish to comment on this particular public hearing? Anybody in person or online? Any comments from the board?
I think all three of these hearings are great, and I just look forward to working with our police department for strong enforcement as we move forward.
Okay. So we will close this public hearing and, like the others, leave it open for written comment until the end of the day on March 31st with the town clerk's office. So this concludes the public hearing portion of our meeting. We'll move on next to comments on resolutions. So any of the resolutions that are before the board today, we'll invite any members of the public to come up and offer comments on those. And we also, I guess, have a few folks online. So does anybody in the room wish to comment on any of the resolutions before the board? Doesn't look like we have any. Then we'll go to the folks online.
Hello, Mike?
Good evening, Mike Foley, Reed's Park. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm speaking on Resolution 234, authorizing the CDA to return Urban Design Associates for grant support and design assistance for downtown revitalization and town square activation plan. I speak in favor of this resolution tonight because of my personal experience with Urban Design Associates in their forming the pattern book. I found them to be very, very good and all-inclusive of all town committees, giving the residents a chance to opine, and coming up with a real good plan for downtown. And thinking about their potential for increasing the amount of grants, I think Dawn Thomas has done a phenomenal job with limited resources. And I would assume that Dawn was asking for additional help and took a look at the qualifications of urban design and agreed that they were the guys that we wanted. I would, if there was a chance for Dawn to come up and just explain for a minute or two the potential that Urban Design Associates has to really exponentially increase our grant potential. $75,000 was the cap originally put on this that you guys are going to vote on tonight. And that's a good start. I believe by the time that $75,000 is expended, many multiples of that will have been achieved in additional grants. So again, I don't know if I'm out of line to ask Dawn to just opine for a minute or so on what she sees as the potential in adding urban design on our side on this. If she does, that would be wonderful. If she doesn't, I'm sure I'll read about it or talk to her about it in the future. But certainly, I think it's a great step, and I thank you very much for your time.
I think Dawn would like to respond, right? Great.
Thank you, Mike. I think you're correct that everything that we invest in planning, in terms of studies and assistance, professional assistance, pays big dividends in grants. So Urban Design Associates not only helped us, as did RXR, with some of the renderings for our $25 million grant that we just submitted. And so the amount that we invest, and we usually are using grant funds to even fund these small agreements for professional assistance. So in addition, Urban Design Associates will consult with us on downtown projects regarding pattern book compliance. So help us apply the pattern book and help us problem solve in any circumstances that's required. So it's incredibly helpful to us, and we've had good success with them. So that's what I'll say about that. Thanks.
Thank you, Dawn. Okay, and Chip, we had somebody else online?
We do? Kathy McGraw. You're on, Kathy?
Hi, Kathy McGraw, Northville. I have a question, and I'm not sure if you all can answer it. It said, I saw a distribution of resolutions earlier than the one that's posted online, and it had a resolution that was rescinding a resolution that you passed at the last board meeting, Resolution 185, which adopted the DEIS for the site plan for the apartment complex at 203 to 213 Main Street. And I'm wondering what happened to that resolution. Can anybody tell me?
Yeah, we pulled it from the packet, and we're going to have Dawn Thomas come up and explain why that happened to you.
Okay, that'd be great, thank you.
Hi. So the original notice of positive declaration on that project for some reason wasn't published in the environmental notice bulletin. And so we were working to correct that through the process, and we spoke to the DEC actually earlier this week, Greg Bergman and myself, and we believed that we needed to rescind that draft environmental impact statement acceptance, and indeed we don't need to do that. We are now going to leave that where it is. We're going to renotice that positive declaration original scope. Then 30 days later, we'll publish the final scope. Then we'll publish the notice of the availability of the DEIS, and that will correct that sequential record, and the DEC recommended and supported that decision. So that's why we didn't need to do that resolution, so we withdrew it, or we recommended it be withdrawn.
Okay.
Thank you. I guess I have just a further question. Will the DEIS then address the revised site plan? Because as I understand it, the site plan that was reviewed for SECRA has been significantly changed.
The answer is yes. The draft environmental impact statement addresses all of those issues. The project has been reduced in scope, and so everything was covered and considered.
Okay, thank you very much, I appreciate it. That's all, thank you.
Thank
Okay.
you, Kathy.
Thank you, Kathy. Anybody else online, Chip? Okay. Anybody else in the room to comment on the resolutions that'll be before the board this evening? Seeing nobody else, I think we'll move to resolutions. Diane, can you please call the votes?
Certainly. Resolution 188.
Police Department budget adjustments, so moved.
Seconded.
Vote, please.
Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 189.
Budget adoption for demolition of the unsafe structure at 168 Creek Road, Wading River, New York. So moved.
Seconded.
Vote, please.
Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 190.
Water District Capital Project Number 82304, 1001 Scott Avenue budget adoption, so moved.
Second.
Vote, please.
Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 191.
Authorizes sewer district superintendent to attend WEF/IWA Residuals and Biosolids Conference. So moved.
Seconded.
Vote, please.
Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 192.
Ratifies the authorization for an employee to attend a DCJS training. So moved.
Seconded.
Vote, please.
Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 193.
Rescinds resolution number 2023-160. So moved.
Seconded.
Vote, please.
Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 194.
Rescinds resolution number 2023-162, so moved.
Second.
Vote, please.
Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 195.
Accepts the resignation of a maintenance mechanic 2. So moved.
Seconded.
Vote, please.
Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 196.
Appoints a Spanish-speaking justice court clerk. So moved.
Seconded.
Vote, please.
Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 197.
Appoints a maintenance mechanic 2. So moved.
Seconded.
Vote, please.
Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 198.
Promotes an office assistant, so moved.
Second.
Vote, please.
Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 199.
Appoints members to Landmarks Preservation Committee Commission. Is that Edelman? Edelman. So moved.
Seconded.
Vote, please.
Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 200.
Appoints member to the Recreation Advisory Committee. Sanders. So moved.
Seconded.
Vote, please.
Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 201.
Reappoints member to Recreation Advisory Committee. Savio. So moved.
Seconded.
Vote, please.
Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 202.
Reappoints member to Recreation Advisory Committee. Eliza, so moved.
Second.
Vote, please.
Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 203.
Reappoints member to Recreation Advisory Committee. Petra.
Patrick Nanny.
Petra
can do it.
Nani. Is that right? So moved.
Seconded.
Vote, please.
Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 204.
Reappoints member to Recreation Advisory Committee. Gabrielson. So moved.
Seconded.
Vote, please.
Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 205.
Reappoints member to Recreation Advisory Committee. Acevedo. So moved.
Seconded.
Vote, please.
Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 206.
Reappoints member to Recreation Advisory Committee. Schmidt, so moved.
Second.
Vote, please.
Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 207.
Reappoints member to Recreation Advisory Committee, Winter. So moved.
Seconded.
Vote, please.
Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
I just want to say, the answer, yes, but just to comment, the Recreation Advisory Committee, I just want to say they've been putting a lot of extra time in, doing a lot of extra meetings, and formulating a lot of great things to come in our Parks and Recreation Department. So thank all of them for their work, and they're doing a great job, so yes, and I vote yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 208.
Authorizes purchase of highway equipment for highway maintenance, construction, reconstruction, and, we're missing something.
Oh, no, and it's
And
and/or
other
snow
implements.
removal.
Oh, and snow removal?
And/or snow removal.
Okay. Well,
We added that after.
let's amend it to say that.
Yeah, it
Yes.
just didn't get
So it
saved on
reads
this,
that.
Didn't-
on this
on-
pack, that's
On
all.
that pack,
Yep.
yeah.
Seconded.
Vote, please.
Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 209.
Extends bid non-pro-tunc for marine unit board and outboard motor maintenance and repair. So moved.
Seconded.
Vote, please.
Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 210.
Reject bid and authorizes town clerk to publish and post notice to bidders for rebid for defreeze pump station control panel replacement. So moved.
Second.
Vote, please.
Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 211.
Hang on, Frank, because I'm on the contract here. Awards bid for water sewer materials. So moved.
Seconded.
Vote, please.
Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 212.
Awards bid for chemicals for Riverhead Sewer District. So moved.
Seconded.
Vote, please.
Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 213.
Authorizes the town clerk to publish and post a notice to bidders for lubricants. So moved.
Seconded.
Vote, please.
Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 214.
Adopts a local law establishing the downtown riverfront overlay district. So moved.
Second.
Vote, please.
Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 215.
Adopts a local law amending Chapter 301 of the Riverhead Town Code entitled Subdivision and Land Development, Article,
59. I think it's 59.
59, Site Plan Review. So moved. Oh, 56.
Oh, 56.
Bingo.
We need
So
a
moved.
second on that, I think.
Yeah, we need a second.
Second.
Vote, please.
Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 216.
Adopts a local law amending Chapter 289 of the Riverhead Town Code entitled Vehicles, Traffic, and Parking Regulations, Article 8, Recreation Motor Vehicles, Section 42 thereof entitled Restrictions. So moved.
Seconded.
Vote, please.
Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 217.
Authorizes the town clerk to publish and post public notice for a hearing to consider local law to amend Chapter 269 of the Riverhead Town Code entitled Shopping Carts. So moved.
Seconded.
Vote, please.
Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 218.
Resolution calling public hearing regarding a capital improvement for the extension of facilities of the Riverhead Water District for Printed Places subdivision for a water main extension at the property known as Suffolk County Tax Map Number 0600-82-1-9.8 in Riverhead, New York. So moved.
Second.
Vote, please.
Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 219.
Resolution calling public hearing regarding a capital improvement for the extension of facilities of the Riverhead Water District for the Holly Tree Lane subdivision for a water main extension at the property known as Suffolk County Tax Map Number 0600-69-3-008, 019 and 062 in South Jamesport, New York. So moved.
Seconded.
Vote, please.
Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 220.
Schedules public hearing for the special permit application of 644 Roanoke Avenue, 644 Roanoke Avenue, Riverhead, New York, Suffolk County Tax Map Number 600-126-4-3. So moved.
Seconded.
Vote, please.
Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 221.
Approves a special event, Chapter 255, application for PC Richard and Son, Memorial Day Barbecue Tent Sale. So moved.
Seconded.
Vote, please.
Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 222.
Approve special event, Chapter 255 for Riverhead Home Depot parking lot plant sale. So moved.
Second.
Vote, please.
Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 223.
Approve special event Chapter 255 application, Muddy Princess 5K obstacle course mud run. So moved.
Seconded.
Vote, please.
Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 224.
Approve special event Chapter 255 application of Our Future Generation, For Us, By Us. So moved.
Seconded.
Vote, please.
Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 225.
Approve special event Chapter 255, application for Long Island Antique Power, tractor shows and truck pulls. So moved.
Seconded.
Vote, please.
Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 226.
Approve special event, Chapter 255 application for Race Awesome, 8th Annual Jamesport Triathlon. So moved.
Second.
Vote, please.
Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 227.
Approve special event Chapter 255 application for the Bob Feller Act of Valor 5K Run for Life. So moved.
Seconded.
Vote, please.
Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 228.
Amends Resolution 2000.
The time to comment on resolutions was before, so now they're voting on the resolutions. Go ahead.
Amends Resolution 228. Amends Resolution 2023-175. So moved.
Seconded.
Vote, please.
Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 229.
Authorizes the supervisor to execute Fourth Amendment to agreement with Property Registration Champions, DBA Pro Champs. So moved.
Seconded.
Vote, please.
Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 230.
Resolution approving the dedication of a portion of property at Suffolk County Tax Map Number 0600-117-1-004.001, described as 15-foot width on and along the westerly side of Edwards Avenue, Calverton, New York. So moved.
Second.
Vote, please.
Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 231.
Authorize the supervisor to execute agreement with Riverhead Lacrosse Club, Inc. for referee umpire services for Town of Riverhead Police Athletic League Girls Grades K through K8 lacrosse program for 2023 calendar year. So moved.
Seconded.
Vote, please.
Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 232.
Ratify submission of application for funding and execution of contract by the supervisor for replacement of pump at East Creek Marina to New York State Environmental Facilities Corporation, EFC. So moved.
Seconded.
Vote, please.
Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 233.
Rescinds Town Board Resolution 2023-145. So moved.
Seconded.
Vote, please.
Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 234.
Ratifies authorization for Community Development Agency to retain the services of Urban Design Associates LTD, UDA, for grant support, design assistance for downtown revitalization and town square activation plans. So moved.
Second.
Vote, please.
Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 235.
Approve CSEA 2023 through 2025 contract. So moved.
Seconded?
Vote, please.
Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes, very happy this is done, yes.
Hubbard.
Yeah, I just want to say that we finished up the contract with the CSEA. They ratified it. We think it's a good contract. We know that our civil service employees work very hard for the town of Riverhead. They're also the lowest paid people in the contract for the town of Riverhead. And we've worked hard with this contract to try to bring them up to par a little bit. And as I told them all, we can't do it all in one contract, but this was an awful good start to get them back up to having wages that they can afford to live on Long Island and live in the town of Riverhead. So I'm very glad we all came to a consensus on this, and I vote yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 236.
Authorize the supervisor to sign agreement with Long Island Power Authority, LIPA, and the County of Suffolk. So moved.
Seconded.
Vote, please.
Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 237.
Appoints a hearing officer and authorizes suspension of an employee. So moved.
Seconded.
Vote, please.
Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 238.
Authorizes the supervisor to execute acknowledgement and acceptance of bipartisan infrastructure law funding for 2 water district extensions. So moved.
Second.
Vote, please.
Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 239.
Pay bills. So moved.
Seconded?
Vote, please.
Kern.
Yes.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Resolution adopted.
Okay. Thank you, Diane. So we will now move on to the open comment portion of the meeting. So this is the time now, if anybody in the audience wishes to comment on any other matter, this is the time to do that, whether you're in person or online. Generally, we take the folks in the room first.
Never good to be first.
Don't be shy.
All right, thanks for the opportunity to speak tonight. My name's Roy Reynolds from Brookhaven, and we're back again. We were at the last meeting. I have a copy of a proposed resolution that was sent to you earlier this week, and I would like to spend some time going over it. The first 2 pages of the resolution give the reasons for the resolution, which I'll cover. Warning, there's a lot of whereases. Okay, it's the resolution for an audit of the New York State 2022 general election. Whereas it is recognized as a civil right in the United States for every citizen to have free and fair elections. Whereas it is the affirmative duty of our election officials to comply with all federal and state laws governing administration and procurement of our elections, thereby guaranteeing our elections are accurate and free of distortion and manipulation. Whereas our constitutional system of representative government only works when the worth of honest ballots is not diluted by invalid ballots procured by corruption, and assuring accuracy can only be achieved through the operational integrity of our elections, as defined by those laws governing the following 5 processes. Number 1, rigorous verification of voter identity. Number 2, proven ballot security and intact chain of custody. 3, voting systems certified to be secure from operational physical cyber threats. Number 4, meets all FISMA and state operational and risk assessment requirements. Number 5, meets auditability and traceability requirements and operational policy. Whereas an open source audit of the New York State 2020 election conducted by the New York Citizen Audit has uncovered evidence of massive inaccuracies that violate both federal and state laws, including over 2.4 million New York State voter ID numbers attached to less than 1.4 million registrants, over 240,000 ineligible votes cast statewide, over 338,000 more votes cast than voters who actually voted, about 1 million voters who registered on January 1st from 1900 to 2021, which is a holiday. Okay, 1.9 million registrations in the state voter rolls missing from the county rolls. over 625,000 more registrants than voting-age citizens in the 6 counties alone. Over 195,000 votes cast in New York City that went missing in the New York State voter database. About 1 million felony violations of New York State election law. The report also found 95 state and federal legislative races impacted by the over 740,000 ineligible votes. We found abandoned ballots and ballot payment schemes. Certification as defined by the law was probably fraudulent and illegal. Whereas these findings trample accuracy requirements of the voting systems for the federal election, for a voting system, accuracy is defined as the ability of the system to capture, record, store, consolidate, and report the specific selections and absence of selections made by the voter for each ballot position error. Okay. Whereas it must be known factually and provably that the intent of the voters is accurately represented by election results before certification can be lawfully conducted. Certification of an election that varies from the law is an abridgment of the civil rights of the citizens, a fraud ab initio. Whereas state and federal officials have met the efforts of New York Citizens Audit to seek redress for these egregious violations with indifference and inaction, including the Attorney General, Secretary of State, State Board of Elections, Inspector General, Federal Bureau of Investigation, state leadership of Democrat and Republican parties, county election officials, sheriffs, district attorneys, and others. Whereas none of these violations were addressed prior to the administration and certification of the 2022 general election, and there prevails a spirit of extreme contention and zero trust between people of differing political ideologies across New York, which is destructive to our families, our way of life, and the fabric of these United States. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. My time is running out. I believe one of my colleagues will pick up the ball. Thank you.
Can I just ask you briefly, what is the New York Citizens Audit? Like, how did you gain access to
That's
these
a
ballots?
nonprofit group, and they have a website. You can find the website. It's auditny.com. And it's a nonprofit group who obtained a database, voter database, and had an analysis done of it. And my understanding was it's over 4 terabytes of data that they had to actually analyze. And they had to go find servers that could handle that amount of data. So that's your audit. Okay.
Hello, I'm Julie Spanarelli from Center Reach. I graduated from your guys again, so thank you.
Julie, just pull the mic down a little bit. There you go, so the public can hear you.
So I'm Julie Spanarelli from Center Reach, and I graduated from Riverhead, so again, I'm coming back to say thank you to you guys. So New York Citizens Audit, we're citizens from all over the state. We always welcome more people to our roles. Again, I'm going to take up my time telling you a little bit about us. But we got all of our information. We have sent it to you from Suffolk County, Nassau County, Westchester. We did FOIA requests. We got everything from the New York State databases, and we, pulled it onto our servers. So that's where we got it from. So the information we had sent you a few weeks ago, it's all in there if you had a chance to read through it. So I'm going to continue on page 3. Therefore, we call upon our representatives, including town board members, county legislators, state legislators, federal legislators, law enforcement, federal and state prosecutors, and judges to provide relief to the people and the assurance of domestic tranquility through the fulfillment of each of the following firm requests. This is what we're asking. A complete end-to-end audit of the New York State 2022 general elections for both paper and electronic records, including ballots by a mutually agreed upon external third-party bonded auditing firm, possessed of an adequate insurance and indemnification for the handling and protection of personal identifying information of the millions of New York citizens in order to determine the true error rate. The audit will provide a comprehensive report, analysis of all the lapses and errors, with the explanation of the cause where it can be determined. The enactment of legislation defining a mutually agreed upon process which an end-to-end audit would be triggered in any future elections. Number 3, the enactment of legislation defining a mutually agreed upon accuracy rate for the New York State voter and county roll databases. Number 4, this is what we're looking for. The enactment of legislation allowing for anonymous voter verification and tracking by the voter We want it open source, royalty-free, and patent pending, including automatic mechanisms to report and remedy errors during the canvassing period following an election, regardless of the ballot and resource. Criminalize election misconduct explicitly with regard to state election law, and increase penalties to reflect the societal and generational harms inflicted by these crimes. I'm on page 4. Be it resolved at the Town Board of Riverhead, New York stands in support with concerns and remedies presented here. We're employing the Suffolk County Legislature, New York State legislators, federal legislators, law enforcement, federal and state prosecutors, judges, both state and county board of election, to cooperate and fully with these firm requests of people. The appendix at the back has a lot of the summary information. On both sides of the aisles, everybody, whatever's going on, we just want accuracy. That's all I'm asking. It's just accuracy, all right? What we're hoping, honestly, what we're hoping is that the information you got in the resolution that you guys would want to sign tonight, we're just looking for everyone to just say, let's look at what's going on with the numbers. If you can't do that for whatever your reason is, okay, we're definitely going to come back to your next meeting with the hope that you're going to put this on the agenda to make for a vote. All right? Do you guys have any questions? Please ask.
I do, I have a question. Say, you collected all this data, correct? And if you got it from Suffolk County or Westchester, right? Was it just an aggregate of data that you now, I mean, could you look at specific elections?
Well, they looked at 2020 when they were looking at the data. They got all of the counties, they FOIA requested all of the counties. And when you sum total all the counties, it's supposed to equal the number add up the state, and they're off by millions.
I get that, but so where I'm going is you can't drill down to specific elections?
I don't know if that's possible, but I know that the head people who sort of run this, she's just another mom upstate, she would be able to more explain that to you, and they're very, very willing to come down and meet with you guys. Like, I'm just a person who can go through the numbers and read it to you, but they have the ability to explain in detail where things were happening. But they said it affected 95 elections when they went through the aggregate numbers.
So there were 95 elections
That
that
were
came up
impacted.
with this whole number, and that's what it means, it affected 95 elections. Where I'm going is, if you can't determine which races that the illegal, all this illegal business went on, where do you land?
Where do we land with that? We land with, we have to go on from here. We have to fix it for the next election. We have a presidential election in 2 years, and honestly, if we don't fix it...
I think it's great, I just don't,
Yeah, I don't know how to answer that. I wish I did. I can get back with you with that question. All I know is that the 2 + 2 is not equaling 4, and that should be bothering everybody who has a conscience. It bothers me. So, I thank you for your time, guys. I appreciate what you guys are doing.
Thanks for coming back.
Okay, thank you. Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm gonna be the mic guy, you gotta bring it up. Yeah, there you go.
Yes, sir. Madam Supervisor, Board, my name is Peter Fertig. I'm president of the Bob Feller Active Valor Foundation. I apologize for my ignorance in calling out, as I do not know protocol on how to do this. So I'm guessing after the meetings, so this is where we are. You folks were kind enough to approve our 5K run, which I really do appreciate. I just want to be clear. We're able, when you approved that, when we put in for running in Riverhead with the VFW, that's what we're approving, correct?
I believe, to answer your question, I think where you're going is that we approved the application and the event to take place, but you're still going to work hand in hand with the police department and the fire marshal's office to get the actual route approved.
Okay. So we're kind of a logjam, unfortunately. Worked with the chief. We've been trying, and I've got the routes. I've got multiple routes that we've run. We've run for 2 years over in Calverton. We're trying to bring it closer to end up in Riverhead. I've worked with Lieutenant Frost. I worked with the chief, trying to figure out why we can't run on Sunday morning from, give or take, from 9 to 11. We've changed the original route. I'm going to leave this for you on the emails. I'd like to, commend Carol Delvecchio. I want it noted on the record. She gets back to me. She's probably one of the best folks that you have. I wouldn't lose her, no matter what the case may be, because she is very efficient in trying to help me get us within the organization and what we're doing. The money we raise, just to let you folks know, goes to military suicide and for scholarships. We are 100% volunteers. We are trying to make a difference. We're trying to make a difference within the Riverhead community. We don't have to run within Riverhead. That's not, I've been offered to run in Rocky Point, where I'm originally from. I've been offered to run inside Bay Shore, where I know Councilman Cochran. There are, we are running the in Riverhead because we've done it for the last 2 years. This would be the 3rd year. Please tell me what it needs to happen, because, we're trying to improve upon the race. In working with Strong Island Running, who's our counterpart, they said we would get more people, which would help with sponsorships and other things if we ran in the town of Riverhead. I need to know what it's going to take so that we can, whether it's volunteers on our side, which we've offered to the chief, whether it's getting the fire department, whether it's getting the VFW as volunteers, whether Strong Island Running is offering to provide, support, who we're paying for. These are things that we need to just kind of iron out in advance, and that's why we're here in March, although the run is in September. We're hopeful to work within the community to make it, kind of balance. Having the support of the VFW is very important to our foundation, and making sure that we can figure all this out would be something that would be important to us. I've included the emails back and forth with Carol and spoken with the chief as well as Lieutenant Frost. Please tell me what we need to do on our side to continue forward so that we can find common ground. I don't know why we're trying to struggle with the last map that we have, and this is for your edification, shuts down, for lack of a better term, Rayner Avenue and Osborne Avenue for a period of an hour and a half to 2 hours from 9 to 11 on Sunday, September 24th. I'm going to leave this with you as evidence, as well as the emails back and forth from myself and Carol, sir.
I'll take this.
Thank you. Are there any questions from the town? Anything that I might be missing that can kind of...
So I just want to say, you're a great organization.
Thank you.
We want you to be here. We're going to do everything we can to work with you. We just know there's a change of venue in terms of the location towards running through, downtown Riverhead and the Polish community in the streets. Tom Nijan, Commander VFW, called me, just the other day. I was away last week, but, in full support of everything you're doing and to try to make sure that the town is doing everything they can to support you. I just think that one of the things that I believe, and I won't speak for the chief, but Lieutenant Frost and others, are just trying to find that in terms of Riverhead still being a small town, and a small police department, having, proper safety measures in place to barricade certain routes to make sure that while you're running your event, everyone is safe, and just trying to find the best, safest route to do that, and how many police officers would be needed to cover each intersection as runners are going through. And also, any to alleviate the concerns of residents within there towards having their particular street, being shut down for a period of time. When we go into the resident streets, we also have to think about ambulance response to any medical calls as well, and how do you stop a race if an ambulance has got to go on a residential street, and that's the main focal point of your race. So, we want you here, love what you do. Maybe we can just have more of a roundtable discussion with the chief of police, fire marshals, everybody together to try to do the best route possible to accommodate you and to welcome you, to keep you here in our community, and because we love what you do. But we just got to do it in the safest manner possible.
Agreed.
Okay? But if the chief wants to respond.
By all means, I'm standing by.
Okay.
Just call me Chief Wet Blanket.
Chief, you got to get the mic up. So.
The safest place to run is probably at EPCAL, where there's no streets involved. We've suggested that. We've also suggested Stotsky Park to keep it more of a local feel. Run a few times around that, and we'll be able to handle them going across the Parkway to get to the VFW. That shouldn't be a problem, but running around Polish Town, Osborne Avenue, and stuff like that, probably not a good idea. So I'm sure we can sit down with the promoter, round table it, and hopefully work it out.
Come up with something that works for everybody. Okay,
Sure.
come on up.
respectfully, in speaking with the department, if we cannot improve upon our race unless we're part of the community. We've tried running it at APCAL for 2 years. I'm not opposed to running it this year, but if we're going to work within the VFW community, we want to be part of the community. Now, I know you've approved other races in the past, you know, whether it's a 5K, 10K, you know, other events that you have. I'm assuming, I know the Turtle Race shuts down all of Main Street, and I apologize if I got that wrong. I know maybe it's the aquarium race. I don't know how you call it.
It's the Ridley race.
Thank you. The Ridley race. I'm just trying to be part of the community. We cannot be part of the community if we're out at EPCAL. We get maybe 100, 150 runners. I'd also had talked to the community about having a bar crawl so that we can bring more people into the community from a business perspective, and working with that. If we cannot come to an agreement on that, that is going to kind of be a knockout in our world. So I'm hopeful we can find some sort of common ground. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else for open comments? Anybody else in the room? Anybody online?
Excuse me, yes. Can I just say something? Because I want to answer your question, sir.
Do we already have somebody coming up, Jim?
Your question is...
Bring the mic down, sir.
Yeah, I have to bring it way down.
You're on TV, everybody wants to hear you.
We just need your name and your hamlet for the transcriptionist, please.
Okay, my name is Valerie D'Souza. I'm a member of a resident of the town of Brookhaven.
Okay.
Okay. The answer to your question, sir, is this, what you want to know is what an end-to-end audit will discover. This is regarding the voter rolls themselves. The discrepancies that have been discovered are in the voter rolls. So an end-to-end audit will discover individual races and how, you know, how a person voted on that particular race.
I think that's very important. Thank you.
You're welcome, sir. Thank you.
Okay. So nobody else in the room, doesn't look like. Jeff, we have somebody online? I'm sorry, Chip, we have somebody online? Mike Foley, great. Welcome back, Mike. Can you hear us?
Yes, good evening, Mike Foley, Riverhead. You can hear me okay?
Mike, can you come a little closer to your computer because your voice is really fuzzy?
It's a little garbled.
Yeah.
Is this any better?
Come a little closer.
How about this? Is this any better?
That much better.
Okay, great. Just a comment before I get to what I really want to get to. You know, the allegations provided by these people from the New York Audit Committee are as real as Rudy Giuliani and Sidney Powell's were. It's all nonsense. This is all conspiracy nonsense. And I'm disappointed that we have people from out of town that are now populating our room trying to spread this election conspiracy nonsense. I hope we can get a handle on it. Otherwise, we'll have another 100 wackos coming to the microphone, screaming conspiracy, taking up all of our time. So I just hope we can get a handle on this, guys, from what we just saw, the act we just saw tonight. Now, let me just talk about what I'd like to speak about, which was the March the 16th work session that I viewed online. The chair of the Business Advisory Committee was invited alone in an attempt to rewrite and undo the work of the Urban Design Associates in forming the pattern book. We spent $175,000 with Urban Design Associates, who did a phenomenal job. I don't think we've ever had the amount of participation of citizenry in any plan like the pattern book. We had multiple sessions, work sessions, where they had wonderful illustrations that the residents could say what they wanted our town to look like in height, in density, in green technology. And along with all of the committees that were brought into this from the town, they come up with a pattern book that the resolution was passed by this town board. And then Marty from the Business Advisory Committee came up with objections. the resolution or was put on hold, and now they had this work session. So fortunately, James Farley, Janice Sheriff from the Downtown Revitalization Committee were given notice of this and were able to get there. And thankfully, Yvette welcomed them up to the table to talk about it. So what we have here is a guy whose interests to make the developers richer by adding height and density and reducing green technology is now trying to undo the pattern book, which was universally accepted by this town. I find it outrageous, candidly. And certainly there was one councilman who I won't mention right now, just because it just doesn't serve a purpose, was the cheerleader for this. There were two council people not there, and thankfully, I'm sorry Yvette's not there tonight, because I wanted to thank Yvette for calling this out for what it was. It was just a power play to try and undo the work that the people of this town wanted. And this is what they attempted to do. And thankfully, smarter heads came in and prevailed on this. But I think this should be a clarion call to the people on that town board, and certainly to the citizenry, that we have to take a very hard look at who is trying to influence this town. And to have a $175,000 universally accepted project crossed out page after page by a member that was there to help his clients. He said it. His clients didn't want this, and no developer would want it. And thankfully, Dawn was in the room to correct him. Dawn told him that she's working with developers right now that are willing to accept chapter and verse of that pattern book and build it the way the people want it, the way it can sustain us over the coming years in green technology. So I just wanted to call this out to everybody's attention, although I guess most of the people clicked off after the election conspiracy nuts took over the microphone. But what we need to do here is to understand that there are elements in this town right now that are not working for us. They're working against us. The people in this town that want this town to be open space, clean air, a smart development. I'm not anti-development. I'm smart development. We need to put things where they belong, and we need to respect the desires of the residents of this town as to what they want their downtown to look like. And I certainly hope, and certainly this is not going to be the last time you hear about this, but I certainly hope that before the next work session, we can get a handle on the influences in this town that are working for themselves and not the people of this town. And if the council person that I didn't mention has anything to say, I'd like to hear it now while I'm on. I didn't think so. Thank you very much for your time.
Okay. Welcome back, Eric.
Hello, Garrett Moore, Riverhead, East Main Street. I was involved with the pattern book, went to several meetings, spoke on that, looked at all the drawings, and I just want to echo, I believe that was Mike up there, I don't see his name anymore, and appreciate him for bringing that up. I did read something, meant to send an email this week, didn't get a chance, so, you know, I think what we put together several years ago at this point was what the people of Riverhead wanted, and definitely support going forward instead of rewriting history. Thank you.
Thank you, Gary.
Evening, Claudette Bianco, Baden Hollow. I just want to make a recommendation. I know I don't have to tell you, but the allegations made about election fraud are just that. Don't do anything, don't sign anything, don't even make a resolution until you get some proof. If you see proof and the allegations are accurate, then use your judgment. But first you have to see proof. Until then, it's just an allegation. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else in the room? Anybody online? Chip?
Kathy McGraw again, Northville. I'll be brief because Mike Foley said it much better than I could. I watched that town board work session and I was appalled at what was going on. The idea that somebody charading as a member of the Business Advisory Committee, who was actually representing his clients, on his own with one other person was trying to X out everything that had been in the pattern book was absolutely appalling. And I know that the supervisor and I don't always see eye to eye, but boy, I was applauding her as I watched that town work session. Thank you so much, Yvette, for stopping what was being done, what was attempting to be done there. And also thanks to the people, Janice and Jim Farley and Dawn, who came out and spoke up for the pattern book, because the pattern book was, a lot of money was spent on it, but more importantly, a lot of time, and it represents what the town wants. And so I thank those, especially the supervisor, for sticking up for the pattern book. And one other point I would like to make, I read an article this week about the strong boat storage place at the Mattatuck Inlet. And I'm really concerned about the truck traffic that's coming toward Riverhead. We're talking about very large trucks, 4,500 trips, 55-foot long trucks weighing, when they've got the excavated materials in them, 107,000 pounds each, plying Sound Avenue, turning at Northville Turnpike, which they'll be competing with the oil trucks from the Riverhead Terminal, then to 58 and out to the Long Island Expressway. Riverhead was an affected town environmentally and was notified of this, not once, but twice, and did absolutely nothing. And that is a dereliction of responsibility. I mean, this is going to impact Riverhead, and I feel sorry for everybody stuck behind those trucks and the damage that they may do to our roads. I would really like to know, I know the time to comment for SECRA has passed. Southold is the lead agency. We were an involved entity. Does the town have any plans for trying to work with Southold, give some input now about what is coming down the pike in December for 6 months? It goes through April, May, and June of next year. And don't tell me that isn't going to impact traffic in Riverhead. So I'd really like to know if there's any plan to try to work with Southold on this. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Kathy. Eric, did you want to comment, or should we bring Matt up? Maybe Matt can offer some comment?
I think Matt would probably be best
Okay, great.
situated right now to talk about it.
Matt, one of our esteemed planners, Matt Charters, is going to come up and, oh, and Dawn's here too. Hi, Dawn.
Do you know about the trucks?
Good evening, everyone. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Good. Okay, so to speak to some of Ms. McGraw's comments, some of this does predate my time with the town, but I am familiar with the timeline of things. So these is related to the scope in SECRA. We are actually an interested agency. We're not an involved agency because we don't fund the project, have an approval of the project, et cetera, so we can comment. Comment's not over yet. They did accept a DEIS, which is a draft environmental impact statement, which I think would be a more appropriate time to make comments. That's the substantive review. The scope, both the draft and the final, kind of outlines, well, not kind of, it does outline what they're going to be looking at, one of which is traffic. I don't want to speculate on what kind of recommendations we're going to make. However, we will take a hard look at this document, which is available, as I know now, probably publicly on the Southold Town website. I don't know if we've been provided with a copy yet, but, you know, something to consider would maybe be to request that there's no travel on town right-of-ways. Northville Turnpike and 58 are county roads. There's not much we can do about that, unfortunately. But we could potentially make a recommendation related to town right-of-ways. And if the public's not familiar, an interested agency has as much ability to comment on a matter as the general public does.
Okay.
State Route 25 was built to handle loads like that. Sound
Correct.
Avenue was not.
Yeah, Correct, and I don't think that's an unreasonable recommendation to make formally to Southold. You know, it can come from either planning or from the town board that says, hey, you know, this is construction-related activity, it's not gonna be throughout, you know, as far as I know, the lifetime of the facility, but we can say, can we not, can the route not be on Sound Avenue?
Can we appeal the county to make comments on this since they're the roads that
They're an interested agency
Okay.
too, so they would have as much right to comment it as we do.
I would like to make sure we do follow through with comments now.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Good?
Good.
great, thanks, Matt.
Thank you, Matt.
Anybody else for open comments? Anybody in the room, anybody online? That's it, Chip? All right, I guess that about does it. So that's the end of open comments. Can I have a first and a second to close the town board meeting?
So moved. Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Seeing as nobody's opposed. So moved. Thank you, everyone. And just a reminder before they go off the air, once again, the parade, the Jamesport St. Patrick's Day Parade put on by the East Emerald Society is going to now take place on April 1st. So you want to come out and support Pat and Joanne Waskey as the Grand Marshals and celebrate with some Irish cheer on April 1st at 1 o'clock in Jamesport. We hope to see everybody there. Good night, everyone.